To address the issues facing Tennesseans today, from 10 News, this is Inside Tennessee.
Good morning and welcome to Inside Tennessee. I'm your moderator, John Becker. Knoxville City Council ushered in a sweeping leadership change this fall. 7 of the 9 council members happen to be women. 4 of the 9 council members are new. 2 of them join us this morning. Janet Testerman represents at-large Seat B, and Charles Thomas represents District 5. Nice to have both of you with us.
Thanks for having us.
And for those of you who don't know where District 5 is, it's in the northern part of the city. Don Bosch is one of our panelists. He's a lawyer and is also a Democrat.
Good morning, John.
Good morning. And in replace of Susan Richardson Williams, Karen Carson, who is a nurse and also a Republican.
Good morning.
Good morning. Also served on the school board in our community. And we're going to talk more about council because you held really your first full meeting, it felt like, this week. But before we dive into some of the issues you discussed, Janet, let's start with you and talk about, again, why you wanted this position and your day job.
So I'm currently the CEO of Young Williams Animal Center and really wanted to serve this city. Have spent really the majority of my life serving this community, different nonprofits, different organizations, as well as leadership in some of our city's top employers. And so I really wanted to take that experience and that leadership and just have a passion for this city and wanted to serve.
You're off and running. Charles Thomas, your reason for running and your day job.
Yes, this is pretty much a continuation of what I've done for quite a while. I started out being active in my neighborhood associations. Years ago, I worked with the Greenway Coalition when we were building bike trails and linear parks. From there onto the Transportation Board, served a while on the Planning Commission, and was on the City Council back in 2011. That was a good experience. I felt like we had contributed to the city, and I wanted to continue that.
Your day job is as an attorney.
Yes, as Don knows, we've practiced.
We cross paths pretty regularly.
Times over a long time, and I'm a lawyer by trade. And then on weekend, partly for fun, I work at Union Avenue Books.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the meeting this week. I wanted to open up with a question about police recruiting, because that's something we heard throughout the campaign and have heard from the new mayor as a priority for hers, and it was for the last mayor. Let's start with you, Mr. Thomas, and your perspective on the need for more officers. I think we're at about 375, and we'd like to have 417, if those numbers jive with what you heard this week.
Yes, the more that I hear about it, the more I think that this current situation is unacceptable. And some of the complaints that I'm already getting are on response time of the police, and people get frustrated, but the facts are we're spread very, very thin, and some of these police officers are working multiple shifts. So I think we need to be proactive in expanding our police force.
And part of your action this week was to be proactive. It sounds like to hire a marketing firm to spread that message. Janet, explain what council did and why you think it's important.
You know, I said from day one for my campaign that I knew that law enforcement was at critical levels. And so that was something I really campaigned on, that I really feel like law enforcement is crucial to this community, and our citizens want that as well. And so I believe we did pass it. I think it's a good move, but I also said on record that, you know, it's one piece of what needs to happen. We do need to look at pay and benefits. We also need to look at allocating dollars for training and development and retention. So you can recruit all day, but you've got to have the other pieces of the pie to really make it, and we need to look at it holistically.
Well, Janet and Charlie, I spend a lot of time with police officers. I know Charlie does too. I frequently represent police officers. And when I hear them, they really have a very quantifiable solution to their morale. They need to be paid better. You look at the other districts around here, I think at Gatlinburg PD, we lost a lot of officers there once upon a time because they're paying much better. Yeah. They need better benefits. You're right, they need better training. And many have a feeling that management is not transparent with them. But they've identified the goals. Now, all of those require money. Okay, we know the budget is tight. So do either of you have a proposal? Everybody says we need more police officers. I think everybody agrees. But what's the proposal to be able to fund very attainable, quantifiable goals that will increase morale at KPD? Charlie, I'll start with you.
Yeah, Obviously, raising taxes would be one source of revenue. That's something most people want to do as a last resort, including me. As I talked about during the campaign, what I would like to do is take more blighted property and get it back on the tax rolls and increase the pie. And out of that increased pie, be able to benefit.
Yeah. If you're not through,
I'm finished, yeah.
Jen, your ideas.
You know, I think, well, first of all, we haven't done a survey, formal survey for pay and benefits since 2007. There has been an informal one done since then. I go back to, you know, it's not just that, it's also economic development. And I think, you know, expanding the tax base, we do have some tax issues. We need to expand the tax base so we can provide the social services that we need, along with support for first responders and law enforcement.
But Janet, yeah, as we look through the town, I mean, we've done a pretty good job of expanding the tax base and expanding economic opportunities, and I credit all the way back to Bill Haslam and the Madeline Ruggiero. So I'm still curious we can't slice and dice and cut our way out of it. I don't think a property tax, while I think it might be warranted, I don't think it will pass. I'm still puzzled, but we're probably talking about, you know, a multi-million-dollar solution, but a solution.
Sure. And I also think it's taken a deep dive into the budget. So as we go into budget season, really looking at areas that, you know, that may be able to become leaner, that we can become more efficient and streamline whatever departments and services they are, and see what monies can be extracted and reallocated.
And Don, just for clarity for our viewers, $40,000, and you all know this as well. That's the starting pay.
Right.
What are you hearing? Do you think would be a more acceptable number for that? If it's 40 now, what should it be?
What I heard last night, at least from one of the spokespeople who was a policeman, was 50,000.
That's right.
Is that your understanding?
Yeah, I'm hearing the number 50 for entry level. That's consistent with other departments and other like metropolitan areas. Further, the ability for that pay scale to go up a little quicker than it does, but just as important as we've all seen right now, benefits. Retirement benefits. This is not a long shelf life job. Charlie and I will probably get carried out of a courthouse in our 80s, but these guys can't work that long. So.
Karen Carson will lead off our questions in the second round of questioning with our new council members. We're back after this.